All right, man, peace. So, brother's question, what happened to Miss Gabby Petito? What exactly were the parameters of her voyage out west with her quote-unquote boyfriend, Mr. Brian Laundrie? What happened between those two? Why is it that it took so long for the media and also for various federal agencies that were on the case, allegedly, to track down the remains of Mr. Brian Laundrie? Why is that? We live in the age of surveillance. None of us can hide. None of us. We just have to embrace it and understand it, that we live in the age of surveillance. And as such, no, I'm not going to buy the narrative that it took weeks to track down the remains of one Mr. Brian Laundrie, as if he's fucking Jason Bourne and he's out there in the Everglades of Florida, dressed in all black with an all black trench coat and a duffel bag with fake license plates in there, like goddamn Matt Damon. It took you that long to find him? No, I'm not buying that. Of course, as usual, any event that is broadcast nationally, any storyline of this type that is broadcast nationally, much less internationally, is meant to be an allusion to something of an esoteric nature. You understand? So who exactly is Miss Gabby Petito, and what does she represent? What does Mr. Brian Laundrie represent? Why is it that the public has not been given any conclusive evidence pertaining to the interactions that occurred between Mr. Brian Laundrie and Miss Gabby Petito in the events leading up to her demise? And in the aftermath of that, why has there been no comprehensive follow-up? Why is that? Who are Mr. Brian Laundrie's parents? Who are Miss Gabby Petito's parents? What is it that Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito actually intended to accomplish in their voyage out west? Why did the media pay so much attention to their minivan? Like, what was that about? All of these things I want to cover in this series that I'm doing on Gabby Petito, as well as the possibility that later on down the line, the situation or the narrative that occurred between Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito might be utilized as a springboard for a quote-unquote attack on incels, or a quote-unquote attack on toxic masculinity. So watch out for elements of that in the near future. All of these things I want to address in detail over the course of the series involving Miss Gabby Petito. And what does she actually represent? As usual, the psychopomp is going to be a very important component in this series, as it always is. They're trying to bridge the realms of the dead and of the living. That's why if you pay very close attention, they're constantly pushing this theme of the Ghostbusters films. They did an all-female cast remake of the Ghostbusters a couple of years ago, starring a couple of lesbians from Saturday Night Live and a couple of unattractive females. Now they're remaking the film again, starring children. Why is the constant and consistent theme of the erasure or the eradication of the barrier that exists between the world of the living and the world of the dead being promoted so hard? Why is that? It all has to do with the concept of transdimensionality and the ability to ascend to godhood through self-sacrifice or things of that sort. You understand that? That's what they're pushing and promoting right now. Many of these characters that we see in the news are just being used as end samples. Ritualistic sacrifices are necessary for the maintenance and the prolonging of this society. They're trying to tap into the magic of the old world. They already know what the scriptures state about this current society, and they're trying to elongate their rulership as much as possible by getting people mesmerized by witchcraft rituals and matters of sorcery until they can mainstream it and normalize it to the point where the people embrace it as a new religion. You understand? So all these things we're definitely going to cover involving Miss Gabby Petito